Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, September 21st. Over the next few days, we will have significant impacts in a negative for fire potential. Fire potential will be decreasing significantly across the region as a strong cold front moves through the Great Basin, bringing widespread wetting rains, showers, thunderstorms, and also higher elevation snowfall. This front will also bring gusty winds and drier conditions, however, to areas over southern and eastern areas of the Great Basin, so we certainly could see an uptick in fire activity, especially in areas of recent lightning or if we get new starts during the windy periods during the afternoon when relative humidity is below 15 to 17%. As we move into Saturday, the cold front will swing well to the east and we will see warming and drier conditions with lighter winds. Precipitation over the last 24 hours, we've seen plenty of showers and thunderstorms, definitely an area of wetting rains over northern Utah, northeast Nevada, up into eastern Idaho and Wyoming. We saw rainfall amounts mostly from a third to a half inch in a fairly large area in this region, and some areas in some of the heavier spots saw precipitation totals over 3/4 of an inch or even over an inch of precipitation in the last 24 hours. Other areas further south, precipitation was a little bit more spotty and lightning activity not quite as much. Great Basin fire activity yesterday was light. However, there were four new fires reported for a total of 148 acres. The largest was the Bonneville fire up there in southwest Idaho. Over the last 7 to 14 days, this does not include the precipitation we saw over the last 24 hours. We've seen generally drier conditions, especially in central Idaho down into northwest Nevada, and then pockets over the rest of the Great Basin as precipitation was relatively spotty. But again, we did see that area of wetting rains from northeast Nevada up into eastern Idaho, Wyoming, and northern Utah. ERCs, and this was yesterday, have definitely come up over Idaho where we saw the warmer and drier conditions. But again, these will be coming down both with the precipitation weather we saw yesterday and also what we'll see here in the coming days. But we still could see some active fire behavior in areas that have gusty winds especially. So in southwest Idaho where we saw our recent fire, 100-hour fuel moistures are below normal for the time of year and have continued to steadily decline. So we're also seeing dry conditions in our sagebrush as well as the grasses. Down over eastern Utah, that has been kind of on the drier side. 100-hour fuel moistures have come down to around normal. In some areas just below normal. So we do still have some drier areas of the Great Basin. So as winds pick up before we get the moisture and cooler temperatures in some of these areas, could see just an uptick of fire potential. Our satellite loop from this morning shows the strong area of low pressure has now dropped into eastern Oregon, pushing the cold front through the northern half of the Great Basin. Plenty of moisture out ahead of this low with the clouds and showers this morning over central and eastern Idaho down into northern Utah. So again, those will continue and we will see activity increase throughout the afternoon. So for later today, the better chances of showers, thunderstorms, and wetting rains will be over the northern half of the region, along with those cooler temperatures with dry and breezy conditions down south. We don't have any high risk. Again, fuels are sort of on the cusp of really not being critical. So we still have some areas of yellow on our significant fire potential map. And again, with the winds, if we see a start in the right areas, we could see a run during the windy periods before things calm down overnight. Relative humidity today will increase significantly over the northern half of the Great Basin, with all areas really above 25 or 30%. And obviously areas that see the clouds and showers will be quite a bit higher than that. But these dry and breezy conditions, again, today will be the strongest winds over southern and eastern Utah, where we'll see wind gusts between about 30 and 40 miles per hour. Could see some higher elevation sites peak in the 45 to 50 mile per hour range, along with relative humidity below 15 to 18%. So again, with these stronger winds and these lower relative humidities today, certainly could see an uptick in fire activity, either from a holdover from recent lightning or if there's a new start. Today, maximum temperatures will drop significantly over the northern half of the Great Basin, many valley locations only reaching the 50s or 60s. These temperatures are about 10 to 15 degrees or more below normal from what we would see for this time of year. Mountain locations in the 40s or 50s, and then still just a little bit warmer down south. By Friday, this low continues to track eastward over Idaho and Wyoming, so continued showers and thunderstorms and cool temperatures, and our significant fire potential map really doesn't change a whole lot. We will see still some gusty winds over southern and eastern Utah coupled with lower relative humidity, but wind speeds tomorrow will be not quite as strong as what we'll see today. More gusts in the 30 to 35 mile per hour range and could see some isolated spots around 40 miles per hour. We'll also see those winds pick up over Idaho and Wyoming as that low continues to track east, but again, expecting precipitation and certainly higher humidities and cooler temperatures in those areas. So temperatures on Friday will remain cool over the northern half of the Great Basin. And then on Saturday, that cold front swings well to the east into the northern plains where we have some weak ridging and drier air moving into the Great Basin for a pretty nice weekend with temperatures starting to increase again with drier weather. So you can see from our significant fire potential map, a little bit of drying going on in southern Nevada and also eastern Utah, so a little bit more yellow on the map for Saturday. Relative humidities will dry out in Nevada. We'll see more areas in the teens extending up into southwest Idaho, along with those lower relative humidities continuing over eastern Utah. Winds will be generally low to moderate across the Great Basin. The strongest winds on Saturday will be over western Wyoming into eastern Idaho, but most of those gusts in the 20s to around 30 miles per hour. And temperatures on Saturday start to warm over western and northern areas. We'll see valley locations reach back into the mid and upper 70s. So definitely a little bit of warming, should be a beautiful day. And then our overnight lows will be quite cool going into the next several nights. We could see some frost depending on location. Mountain locations will drop to near or just below freezing in some spots. So again, that new snowfall we will see as those temperatures plummet. And then valley locations generally in the 30s or low 40s. Forecast amounts of precipitation, the heaviest amounts will extend from eastern Nevada up through northern Utah into central and eastern Idaho and Wyoming, with more spotty showers further west and still dry conditions over southern and eastern areas. As we move into Sunday, another area of low pressure is approaching the west coast, so this will push at least some cloud cover into Idaho and northern Nevada by Sunday. Could see some shower activity as well, so continued low fire potential up there. And then on Monday, most of the precipitation is starting to track more north and northeast, so we'll just be skimming central Idaho on Monday with drier conditions over the rest of the Great Basin. And you can start to see some drying occurring now in western Nevada. By Tuesday, continued drier conditions, so a little bit more yellow on the map with some breezy winds and dry conditions across southern and eastern areas, and then similar conditions on Wednesday. So 7-day total precipitation, really not much different than the 3-day. Any precipitation we get after Friday will be more spotty and just in the far north. And then the 8 to 14-day outlook, taking us from September 28th through October 4th, still shows continued cooler temperatures and above normal precipitation, as we will see additional cold fronts move through the Great Basin every 3 to 5 days or so. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.